right. Check 1, 2, testing. Check. Okay. Whoa, blowing out a little bit. Hey, what's up, everyone? Jordan Anderson here, and welcome. Make sure I'm in focus, looking good, looking sharp. It's Wednesday. We took, I don't know if you saw on the YouTube post. Oh, hang on, let me get Instagram Live going here as well. Hope everyone's doing well. Hoping we're all doing good. Let's see. Hold on. I said let's do it. Let's go live. So I'm got the cell phone right above this camera. Let's see. Oh God. How to start. Go live. Cool. All right, so we're talking about how to start. Oh, I got to tell you about the story that happened on Monday. So I just felt like something was off in my week. I was like, I've gotten so used to live streaming that when I had to skip Monday, I'll tell you the story. So I came home late on Monday. Got home at 7 on Monday. Picked up some groceries. And we have a grocery cart. We have this little cart because we live in an apartment, and we put the cart in our little storage locker. I go down and check the storage locker, and there's water everywhere. There's water on the floor, and I'm like, it's flooded into our entire storage unit. And there were people. The maintenance crew was there. They're shop vacuuming everything. They're sucking up all the water. And I just walked in my kind of like construction looking clothes. I had boots on that day and put the shopping cart up, but then I had to make sure like all the stuff was good. Thankfully, everything was in boxes. So now we had to, so that was the emergency on Monday. We had to just like figure that out. And by the time we figured everything out, it was 8 o'clock. Still had to cook dinner, still had to get everything ready for the rest of the day. And it's just like, I don't think I can put together a presentation and also be ready to present at 9 o'clock on Monday. So I just said, hey, let's fix this now. Let's take care of this tonight. And then we'll reschedule for Monday or for Wednesday. So thank you guys for sticking around. Thank you guys for being here on Wednesday. Today, we're going to be talking about switching over. No, let's switch over right now. We're talking about how to start your email newsletter. And let's go very beginner level with this, because there are some differences between inside the word email marketing, or, what is a newsletter? Should I be sending a newsletter? It's 2021 now, Jordan. Is this something I should start to use or implement into my marketing strategy? Let's talk about it. The short answer, yes, you should start implementing some kind of email marketing into your marketing strategy. So let me switch over to the Google Slides. If you're on Instagram Live and you're watching, you got to go to YouTube and go to Jordan P. Anderson and watch all the slides, because you're missing all the slides. You're just watching me behind the scenes and not talk to you. Yeah. Thanks for watching, guys. Here we go. Let me switch over. Bam. Make sure I'm in my little circle as usual. All right, so starting your email. So my goal for this is to help you dip your toes into the world of email marketing. In today's lesson plan, we're going to be talking about the ground level. We're going to be talking about the solar system. Number 3 is your promise. And number 4, we're going to talk about growth patterns. So email is incredibly personal. It's a really nice way to have a personal one-on-one. I almost wrote intimate, but that has a different connotation sometimes. But email is a very intimate way to communicate with your audience. It's there's just something else to it besides just if I could in terms of like the parasocial relationship we're trying to create with our audience, that kind of fake friendship it is kind of fake friendship that we feel with our whatever creators that we follow. Video has a very personal, because you can see me, you can see my face, you can see me interact, you can kind of get a sense of my personality. And then like one step more intimate, I'd say, is podcast, because like I'm in your ears, I'm in your head, I'm talking to you. And then one step deeper than that, I would say, is the email. And not so much for like showing off my personality, but with an email, it's like it becomes an instant one-on-one communication. With social media, the word is in it, social, so it's kind of an open community. you comment, everyone can see your comment, the creator can see your comment, so it's very open space, open source. We all know what we're all thinking collectively. But with email, when it's just kind of one-on-one reply back and forth, it becomes like your own private little Slack channel, your own private little communication, instant message that nobody else is going to see, and just you and the creator can talk. And if you have a problem that you're trying to work through, or something that you liked about their video, you can kind of have that one-on-one conversation. So it's a very incredibly personal way to communicate with your audience, with your potential customers, which is also the dangerous part about it, because that means it's very subject to abuse. Like, there are so many spam laws and spam policies, and because people take advantage of the fact that it's so incredibly personal, that you want to open up your emails, you want to see who has sent you that personal handwritten letter via email, handwritten via, you know what I mean. So that's the good side and bad side. Let's use that to our advantage, and let's be good marketers and good business folks about treating email carefully, delicately, and the sacred thing that it is. I'll tell you a little bit about what I did before I switch over to the slides. So I've done email marketing on and off. I've had like a MailChimp account since like 2016. So I'm like got grandfathered into that early account. Kind of worked a little bit, but the more I've learned, the more I've kind of grown into it. I've learned more about onboarding sequences. I've learned more about automation, so that I'm not having to send a welcome series every single time. That instead, for new people that come into your world, for new people that opt into your page, they get this automatic sequence. They kind of go through it. It's like, hey, I'm training you. I'm getting you up to speed about everything that we do here, and we'll talk about that later in the video. And that was my kind of story. And then this 2020, I keep wanting to say this year because it's not 2020 anymore, but this year I was like, okay, the world has changed. I need to change. I need to do something radically different. I have been kind of abusing my email list, or like not using it to its full advantage. And I said, okay, I got to really change something. And I got the idea to try doing daily email. Like, if someone can send a daily tweet or multiple tweets a day, then I can probably do a daily email every single day. And I started to just try it on MailChimp. It wasn't exactly made for MailChimp, and then we'll talk about software more, but I just started sending a daily email. I started it on tinyletter.com because I don't have that many email subscribers, and just what topics could I think of every single day? They don't have to be these huge, dense emails, just like something, 200 to 500 words written every single day, like one thought, and it kind of writing more and more. And the great part about it in this kind of newsletter space, like writing more helps you articulate more, helps you get your thoughts out. Like, our thoughts just kind of bounce around in our head all the day long. And if you want to be an expert and you want to have some authority in your space, then you need to start showing people what you're thinking. And by showing people what you're thinking, that is either by making written word in text form, like an email, audio, video, some kind of I'm showing you, teaching you, explaining the thoughts in my head. And email and daily writing was a great way to kind of articulate that. So that was my journey. I did that every single day. I think starting in March, I only missed a couple days. I think out of the whole, if March to December is something like 300 days, I think I did about 270 emails. And at first it was 7 days a week, and I said, okay, no one's reading on the weekends, so let me just do Monday through Friday. So I did Monday through Friday, and have kept that cadence up ever since. If you're curious about it, go to jordanpanderson.substack.com to check it out. And the idea was just that email is incredibly personal. Like, I want to be in your inbox. I want to show up every single day, and I want to kind of in a weird way not have you forget about me, because what people do a lot with newsletters, or the problem that they have with email marketing, is that they do it too little. They think I don't want to abuse my email list, so I'll just do it like once a month. But then once a month turns into once a quarter, and then you get this new email from somebody that you subscribe to. You haven't gotten it enough, or you haven't gotten it frequently enough, and people just kind of delete it, don't read it, not sure where this came from, who this person is. But if you're showing up daily, if you're showing up weekly, if you have a very I say either try to aim for weekly to daily, but if you're showing up that much, you're in people's inbox, you're top of mind with people, whether or not they're reading every single email that you're sending out, but there's at least that kind of cadence that people are used to. They're used to you showing up in your inbox, and you have some name recognition. That's kind of what you want with a business, right? So email is incredibly personal. So I guess maybe we should back up a little bit and go with this first lesson: email marketing versus newsletter. And yeah, because email marketing is kind of an umbrella term, and there are different types of email marketing. So let's kind of go over that. The first one, email, there are tons of different types of emails that you can send or have different campaigns, different purposes. When we say email marketing, we're thinking of the sales emails. We're thinking of the Target, Bed Bath & Beyond, whatever whey protein supplement powder you signed up for. They're sending you those, hey, we have a new sales coming up, here's a coupon code, hey, Black Friday sale, July 4th sale, Memorial Day sale, those kind of like sales emails. And small businesses do it as well. And hey, I have this new promotion, hey, end of the season wedding is coming up, or hey, we're booking for 2022, hey, book now, here's this, those kind of like transactional emails. Then you have things like onboarding series, where that's attached to the landing page or attached to a squeeze page, where people are downloading a free guide, downloading some kind of free product that you've set up, and then they are getting an automated series of emails from you. You can also call this a drip campaign. It can come from once a day, once a week, once a day for a whole month, but it's just kind of something that is automated that is getting you up to speed, or sometimes it could even be like teaching a course. Then there are things like follow-up emails. I call those, like, another example would be like an abandoned cart email. I'm sure you've gotten those, like, hey, you left this in your cart, are you sure you want to get this? And, you're like, okay, no, delete. Then finally, there's the newsletter. The newsletter is more of a what's been going on, what is happening, here's a personal update, maybe here's a personal lesson that I want to teach you guys this month or teach you guys this week. So we are going to be focusing in this lesson on newsletters, and I think that's what you should be focusing on. To try to sales, onboarding series, follow-ups, those are totally different lessons, totally different mindset. And frankly, it's not even content marketing at that point. It's now we're into full-on digital marketing. We're not even in, let's make some content to share our world, share a worldview, and get people kind of on our side to then buy a product from us or join us or subscribe. Let's focus on newsletters tonight. Lesson number two. Oh, hey, if you're watching on YouTube, Instagram Live, again, hi, folks. If you're watching and you can't see the slides, you got to go to YouTube. Click the link in the description of this, my Instagram page, and it should take you to the video. So lesson number 2 is your solar system. Let's talk about the solar system. What do I mean by the solar system? When I say the solar system, I mean choose your sun. So when you're thinking about starting your newsletter, what topic, you kind of have to choose a centralized topic that you are going to focus on, because that's going to kind of set up a niche for you. That's going to kind of set up this, we are this, not that, sort of dynamic with your email. To just say, hey, join the Jordan Anderson newsletter is not so much, it's not that attractive. Or like if it's just a new email or you're starting a new newsletter that no one has ever heard of, to say it's just, hey, it's the Jordan Anderson email, doesn't mean anything at this point. So instead, maybe make it like, hey, I'm going to do the wedding pricing guide email, or I'm going to do the small business digital marketing email newsletter, like whatever you want to call it, or like the live streaming tips and tricks email newsletter, like something that's going to tell people by giving them a sense of like what this is about. And this is also to help your content strategy and help you kind of figure out what the hell you're going to be talking about all the time, because that's the kind of fun part about content is you're like, what am I talking about this week? Okay. Oh, let me go back to my centralized topics. What is the sun of my solar system that we're talking about? And then you're going to need to build the planets around that topic that are going to kind of orbit your sun. So for me, it is my centralized topic is pricing. Everything that kind of has to do with pricing. How do I increase my prices? How do I increase my rates? How do I have better price conversations with my clients? That's kind of the centralized sun topic, that's the gravitational pull of everything. And then I have these kind of floating orbital, planetary, whatever you want, metaphor you want it to be, side topics. And these are strategy, small business, mindset, working with clients, and content creation. And throughout the week, I'll kind of sometimes I'll lean into one topic specifically, but then I'll kind of back up, breathe a little bit, and kind of lean back into another topic, or it'll be, not to say it's a hodgepodge, but it's okay that I bounce around these different topics, because at least I have everything is kind of centralized this one central topic. The problem, and I say to use a solar system, or you could also call this the JK5. This is kind of, I don't know if Jenna Kutcher coined this, but this is JK5 is Jenna Kutcher 5, like your 5 main topics. It's what it does too. It kind of keeps you from like totally going off the rails when you kind of have run out of things to say. If you're just babbling, if I'm not talking about so much like daily vlogging or daily newslettering where you're talking about like what happened in your day, or like journaling almost. But this, if you are really kind of aimed at business and you're aimed at teaching people and kind of sharing something valuable to people, then having these kind of 5 core topics, 6 core topics keeps you bound a little bit, so that you're not talking about, I'm not talking about photography tips and tricks and videography tips and tricks, and I'm not swinging over to here's some accounting tips, here's some cool coding software I found. Like, it's not like just like yanking and pulling your audience like just like it's like, hey, follow me on this weird topic I want to talk about this week because I read this one article. Just like keep them all kind of like centralized, like, hey, we're gonna boom a boom. You can kind of expect these main topics. All right, that's enough about that. Let us move on to Seinfeld. Let's talk about Seinfeld. Let's see, I'm born in 1992, so Seinfeld, that was kind of my parents' thing that they watched. I never really watched Seinfeld. I mean, I could definitely watch Seinfeld now, but when anyone tries to tell me about Seinfeld or like quote something from Seinfeld, it's like, do you know how old I am? Like, I miss that. Like like my step aunt, she's always telling me about Seinfeld. It's like, I don't know anything about Seinfeld. Like, I'm not in on the joke. I don't know what George said about this. But what about Seinfeld? Seinfeld was a show about nothing. And it was one of the most successful, probably is one of the most successful TV shows of all time. So how can you, what does that mean, Jordan? Like, to talk about a show that was about nothing, and at the beginning of the story, and then, you have the character arc and the standard plot theme, where you get to the end of the story that something should have changed, nothing changed. You mean to tell me that I can apply that this applies to email marketing? It does. So when you're setting up your newsletter, lean back on this a little bit, or don't be afraid to kind of create a Seinfeld email or have some Seinfeld emails in you. It's okay if you're going to, especially when you're sending out daily emails, that it's okay to not always be like so like professor, topic, authority figure, expert, like here is the lesson of the day. Sometimes you can just say, hey folks, my basement flooded. I'm dealing with some basement flooded. But this also made me think about the time that I was working on this weird project and the video studio flooded and we had to scramble. Hey, isn't that funny? Isn't that neat? Okay, thanks for watching. Thanks for reading, Jordan. Like, it can be about nothing, but as long as you just kind of share your life, share your story, share what happened in your day, it's kind of okay. It doesn't have to always be like this, like we put so much pressure on us, and that's what prevents us from starting an email newsletter. That's what prevents a lot of us from, I want to get into daily emails. I want to start sending a weekly newsletter to my list. They say like, well, I don't have anything to talk about. It's like, well, what happened in your day today? Like, is there something that you can maybe talk about then? Is it something that it doesn't have to be, it can be light. It can be light and fluffy and a little bit shallow, or like sometimes just like, hey, I just found this cool video, or like, hey, I found this cool, interesting piece of, I was reading this article Isn't that interesting? Like we don't have to put so much pressure on ourselves when we're creating these daily emails or these newsletters to like have everything figured out, ready to go, locked and loaded, professional. Because sometimes it's just us. We don't have a whole content marketing team behind us. We don't have a whole newsletter team behind us, or it's sometimes it's just us. We're just here sitting at a computer, and I don't know what to type about today, but I got someone's got to go out. Whatever, let me talk about my favorite pencil. Okay, cool. Like that's like, so just take the pressure off yourself a little bit. I want to kind of give you a little confidence that you can start an email newsletter, and it doesn't have to be just like, you don't have to be this textbook authority figure. You can be just casual. You can just be chill with it. So that's enough about Seinfeld. So let's go on to lesson 3, and this is about your promise. So your promise when it comes to making your email newsletter, I think this might be the most important lesson of tonight, is your promise. Because your promise starts in your onboarding series. Make sure I'm queued up here. It starts in your onboarding series, and this is what kind of sets the cadence. This is what sets the tone of the email newsletter. You don't have to, we just talked about the solar system. You don't have to explicitly share that with your audience that this is my solar system. We're going to be talking about these topics, but I wouldn't discourage it. You want people going in open eyes, ready to, experience what you're going to give them. You're kind of providing this newsletter experience for them, and it starts in your onboarding series. So when they first get that email from you, or they sign up and they fill out this email form or subscription form, and you send the welcome email, you send the first 2 or 3 emails saying, hey, welcome to the newsletter. Here's what you can expect. Here are the rules of the newsletter. Please comment, please engage. We encourage this type of behavior. That's going to set the tone, but it's also going to set the tone of how often you're going to send an email. It's going to set the tone of like, hey, also, I'm going to be talking about these topics. These are my favorite topics to talk about. I love talking about these. And every now and then I'll send you a sales email, or every now and then I'll send something promotional, or if I have a new product that I'm about to launch, you'll be the first to know about it. Does that sound fair? If it does, click here, opt in, double opt in, yes, confirm, cool, bam, on to the next one. Because you're training your audience. I've talked about this before, and I want to keep repeating this theme in your head, that you have to train your audience. And I don't mean like train like a dog, and I'm not saying like belittle your audience and like treat them like they are just these kind of like mindless machines that you just kind of input something and you get the same result every time. When I say train your audience, I mean set up the expectation with your audience so that when something changes, or you do something that's totally different than what you're normally doing, that your audience can expect it. Or that, if I'm going to upload videos every single day on YouTube and I don't tell someone that I'm going to do that, that is going to be a little bit frustrating. They're going to go, Jordan, I can't watch all these videos. You're overloading me. This is too much. Unsubscribe. Same with it, especially, and you have to be careful with this with the daily emails. I think it's a strong choice to start sending out daily emails, but you have to get people ready. You have to get people used to the idea that you're going to be sending them something every single day in their inbox, and it can't come as a surprise. It can't be the welcome series, the onboarding series can't be like send it on Monday, and then another email on Friday, and then another email the next Monday, and then after that final third email on the second Monday, then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Like, ramp it up. Give them some expectations. Tell them what to expect. What can I expect from this? What is the promise that you're going to give me? If I'm going to subscribe to this, are you going to keep your promise that you're going to talk about these topics, you're going to send emails when you say you're going to send emails, and that you are not going to abuse the relationship that is you and me, this email marketing, email list relationship? Because like we said at the beginning of the video, it's very personal. It's a very intimate relationship, one-on-one. If you're going to be blasting my email every single day in my inbox, I don't want it to feel like this is a spammy relationship. I want this to feel valuable. And if I'm not getting any value out of this, I'm unsubscribing. And the other thing with this as well is that you need to feel comfortable when you're setting up your email newsletter to say, this is not for you. That's a counterintuitive thing, because we're going to talk about growth here in a minute. But you need to be comfortable when you're setting up your email newsletter to say, this is not for you. This email is about this. We cover this topic. It's for this type of person that does this type of work. If you were not that, fine. No problem, no qualms. I don't have any problem with that, but you're probably not going to get the most out of this. That's what you need to be comfortable saying. Don't say, hey, my email's for everybody. Hey, let's get everybody on the list. I'm trying to get every single person, because it's going to be watered down. It's going to be weak tea. It's going to be just you're not going to be as effective. And the audience that you're going to be having inside your email list is not going to be as effective, because they're not going to be opening as much, which means your results, which means you might get seen as spam because people aren't opening your emails enough. You want a strong, actively engaged, frothy audience who's ready to read your emails the moment they come out, not just some weak, mealy mouth like, whatever, okay, their email came out, I'll get around to reading it, probably won't, delete. You need them, if by saying this is not for you, you are excluding people who will bring your list down, who will not read your emails, and you are welcoming the people that will be active, engaging audience members, and that's what you want with especially when you're just starting your email. You don't want to have dead weight on your email list when it's, especially with your first 100 people, first 500 people, you really don't want to have any dead weight on there. All right, how we doing? Still on Instagram Live. Instagram Live, if you're watching this. Oh. Hey, look, we got a couple people watching. Look at that. If you're on Instagram Live, nope, I don't want to send a message. Whatever. If you're on Instagram Live, just click the link in the description below, and you'll watch this on YouTube to see the slideshow. Okay. Growth patterns. Lesson number 4. Let's talk about some growth patterns now, Jordan. Okay, this is what you want. This is what you're here, right? This is all, everything else is obvious, Jordan. I know how to write emails. I know how to write content. I know how to make a content strategy. I just need to know how to grow my email list. Well, I'm going to say stop and breathe, because that's what I have to do myself. I had to stop and breathe and take a second. If you wanted to think about growth in this early of the game with less than 500 subscribers, you probably have your priorities in the wrong space. I would first focus on those first 3 lessons, your promise, your solar system, and actually going with an email newsletter, before you start to think about how do I growth hack, how do I explode my list, how do I get to over 1,000 subscribers, how do I get to over 10,000 subscribers on my list. Take it slow. Breathe. Just work on the content. Work on getting your message honed. Because sometimes you don't want to be in front of 1,000 people every single day when you're just figuring out what this email newsletter is about. Sometimes it's okay to be in front of an audience of 100 people and experiment with those folks. And then as your list builds, now you have a sharper message going into, so then that kind of accelerates your growth because you have a sharper message and people know what your email is about. Like the figuring, you're going to be spending your first 30 days, first 60 days. And I know I did this year or last year in March when I first started the daily emails, I did everything wrong. Or I thought, I was like, okay, maybe let's see what happens when I write a really long email. Okay, that didn't exactly work. People didn't read it. Okay, but that took a lot of time. All right, maybe I'll do like a 2-sentence email or a 1-sentence email, almost like a tweet. And then let me find the right balance. Okay, do I put videos? Do I add titles? Do I make this look like a post, a blog post? Or do I just make this look like a letter? And that took me if I started in March, it took me to about July to figure out the cadence, what topics to talk about, how to effectively zing, zang, like because you can drone on all you want in an email and talk about everything under the sun, but like to have okay, I want to talk about this, not this topic, not this idea, but this one little tiny thought inside that idea, inside that topic, and I'm going to shoot it at you like just one little tiny dart at you. That's how I kind of did my emails. And it took me a while to figure that out. What I have here, post on multiple platforms. And we'll talk about which platforms to check out. But you don't, there are a lot of softwares now where you can post your thoughts, your ideas on multiple places. Of course, sending it out to your newsletter, that's the first step, but there are places like medium.com, there are places like Substack where you can have your newsletter publicly posted, and also if you have a blog, start it blogging as well. Like that's another way to kind of keep getting your thoughts out there. The emails that you've sent in the past shouldn't just be lost in the inbox forever. Post them publicly. Start to build some keywords around it. Start to build some SEO around it so that when people are searching a specific topic that you were drilling down on, they'll start to find your old emails, your old topics, your archives, and then that might lead them to finding your new active emails so they can become an active subscriber. How do you grow? The most basic way to grow, the other ways to grow is like get on other people's podcasts, get on other people's video channels, run paid ads. But the best way and the kind of best bang for your buck is to create an opt-in page and collect emails by offering some kind of free product. So make some kind of free guide, make it some kind of relevant topic make some kind of relevant product to the topic that you're going to be discussing in your email newsletter, and just put your best work, put your free work out there, some kind of template, some kind of guide, some kind of, not necessarily a white paper, but something short, sweet, actionable that your audience and the people that look kind of like your audience will find valuable, and they'll say, hey, I'll trade you my email address for this free product. And you go, sure, thank you. Here you go. Here's the free product. Now I have your email. Now it's going to go on a list. And then from there, you then send them on to your welcome series and say, hey, welcome to the email list. You're on the email list. Here are some topics. Here's what we're going to talk about. On and on and on. And then that's how they become a subscriber. So like for mine, it's the jordanpanderson.com/pricing. I'm driving traffic to this. I'm saying, hey, go to this website. You can click on the link in the YouTube description and read about the 4 secrets to pricing your photography. Put in your name, put in your email, and you'll get the free guide. It'll go to your inbox, and then now you have a free guide to learn about how to raise your prices. That is an opt-in. That's a lead page, squeeze page, lead magnet. That's kind of what you want to talk about. Okay. So, let me double check, see if we have any questions out there. Thanks for watching, everyone. Any questions on the Instagram Live? Hello, everybody. Thank you guys for watching. And, yeah. So, we have a bonus. We have a bonus lesson, folks. So, thanks for sticking around. For the people that stuck around, let's talk about this bonus lesson: video, podcast, and more. What do I mean? And I don't mean start making videos and podcasts and more. That your emails don't have to be written. This is a little bit, maybe a couple years ago this all exactly wasn't possible, but you don't have to be a master craftsman, artist, or author, writer in order to have a great email newsletter. With HTML5, or no, what am I saying? I don't even know what HTML5. With how a lot of these email marketing softwares work, that you can embed videos, you can embed your podcast links. That there are so many other. You can even embed, things from your Instagram feed into your emails, so that it becomes a little bit more interactive. Or, post your picture. If you're a photographer, link a couple of your photos that you posted this weekend and put it in your email newsletter. You don't always have to so heavily rely on the written word and to have this perfectly written prose, perfectly structured paragraphs. Sometimes just make a video. It can be even more engaging. Like I have for my onboarding series now. If you sign up for my email, you get a video lesson from me. So inside the email itself, there's a big fat video player at the top, and then beneath it are some written words. But then, later I can share my podcast. You can embed a Spotify link into your email, and people can, or I have Anchor right now. I share it on Substack. I embed my Anchor link, and now people can open up the email and directly listen to the podcast from within the email. That's just another way to make your emails that much more engaging. So again, if you were thinking about starting a daily email, if you're thinking about getting into a weekly newsletter, a monthly newsletter, you don't always have to rely on the idea that you have to be this master author perfectly, that you know how to write perfectly. You just don't put that kind of pressure on you. If you're better at video, if you're better at podcasts, if you have cool photos that you want to share those. Put it in your email and share it. And don't put this pressure on yourself. So let's talk about finally. This is the kind of nerdy stuff. Check out all of these links right here. So great email tools for beginners. I'm using Substack right now, and Substack is getting hot and fiery right now as a software. Substack is, I would call it, it's email marketing. It has a built-in subscription service where you can have people pay to be on your email list, or you can have sort of like it's almost like they've taken the Patreon model and said, hey, okay, you have a free email that you can send out to people that's public facing, but you can also have hey, pay $5 a month, pay $10 a month to be on my private email list, and we're going to be and people can subscribe, and that's a great way to make some money. But it's also great. But with Substack, it has I don't think they count. The problem with a lot of this software is they count how many subscribers you have. With Substack, they don't care how many subscribers you have, and you're able to type it. You can type out your email. You can embed YouTube videos. You can send email blasts out to everyone on your list. Unlimited amount of times, no like 300 emails a month or 1,000 emails a month max or limit. Substack is totally free. I put it at number one because I believe it. Like for me right now, it's number one. It's been super helpful. The analytics are pretty good. You can see open rate, you can see click rates on Substack, and you can also see who has visited your website. I think also in Substack, they've now given you the ability to do an RSS feed, so you can add your podcast as well. So you could, if you're thinking about launching a podcast and also a newsletter, check out Substack because you can kind of combine those two efforts into one and share that to the world. The next one is Medium. Medium, we all know Medium.com is just kind of a main blogging it's kind of mainly for blogging, but they've looked over at Substack and said, oh shit, they're getting into the newsletter subscription game. Hey, we do that feature too. So now Medium has subscriptions as well. You can start a publication. You can start. This is another way to kind of diversify you sharing your work. So write your emails, write your newsletter, post it, publish it, and then go over to Medium and post it and publish it as well, because Medium has a little bit better discovery. If you're trying to get discovered by some keywords that you're maybe trying to target, check out medium.com. If we're going now, let's talk about just like straight traditional email marketing software. TinyLetter, that is the free version of MailChimp. TinyLetter is it's kind of like Substack and Medium newsletters. Very simple, very trimmed down, less than 500 subscribers. If you're brand new to this and you have 0 subscribers right now, maybe check out TinyLetter as well. And then, of course, now we get into the paid software, MailChimp. This and all these softwares all base your pricing on the amount of subscribers you have. So if you usually have under 1,000 subscribers, the software is free and limited. And then as you kind of build up above 1,000 to 10,000, the bill goes up. And if then it becomes like the more people you have on your list, the more you're going to be paying. MailChimp's great. MailerLite, I use MailerLite for my promotional emails. I love it. I recommend it. It has a lot of great automation as well. And then there's Drip. I think it's drip.co or Drip. I don't know if it's drip.com, but Drip is another email software. There are hundreds of other email softwares out there that I'm totally missing. Sendinblue, HubSpot. There's too many to count. I just wanted to talk about the ones I have direct personal experience with. And I recommend these to check out. If you're going to go paid, I would check out MailerLite. If you're going to go free, definitely check out Substack.com. And you should check out my Substack. Go to jordanpanderson.com. No, I keep saying .com. jordanpanderson.substack.com. And you can find, that's the daily email. That is it. So you can see all the archives. You can see the top posts that I've done. And then you can subscribe and you'll get it every single day from yours truly. So that is it. That wraps us up for tonight. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for listening. If you're listening to this is now, because I'm also doing this as a podcast. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Thanks for everyone on Instagram Live for watching as well. And I will see you later this week. We're going to be live streaming on Friday at 9 p.m. Remember, we are streaming Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 9 p.m. Eastern here on YouTube. So, yeah, let's end it right here, you guys. Let me do my little closer. Okay. Thanks for watching, guys. My name is Jordan Anderson, and I will see you on the next one.